skeleton.
This one's friendly.
This is super friendly, yeah. Don't bite me though. After all that biting color.
Yeah. Oh.
I saw a bite. You got some lick in there.
I just got the lips.
I don't mind the lippies.
What? Horsey. Hey girls, show me what you're doing.
I don't know how to do archery though.
This is really, it's like a toy, so I don't have all the right tools for this.
I don't know.
The actual things is different.
Yeah. Okay, shoot it.
Cool. Oh, but that's where you get your candy from.
This is not where we get the candy from. This is disgusting.
So I just finished audiobook of A Darker Shade of Magic, which is for the buzzword for October, which is magic. So I finished that, very excited. And now today is Saturday, October 21st. So it's 10 days until Halloween. And Bree from the Locked Booktician does the Blackoween readathon for the entire month of October, but I didn't have time in October to read only Black books by Black people. I was going to do 1 week, and he said to do the last 10 days of October to focus on Black authors. So now I can focus on Black books. I was hoping to find an audiobook for my first read, which is Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson, and I have read 3 books from her. I have read Monday's Not Coming, The Weight of Blood, and I just read Growin' by her. So I'm very excited to get into this one. This one sounds really interesting. This is the first book of hers I bought, and I haven't read it yet. So I'm really interested to get into this one. And I do not have an audiobook for it, but hopefully it reads fairly quickly. For Blackoween, normally you would focus on Black authors writing like scary, creepy, haunted books, you know, Halloween vibes. But I'm not into those books as much. They're not the books I'm most drawn to. So I just have a few books that I want to focus on by Black authors this month. And you know what? I could not care less about Halloween this year. Honestly, like I'm so over it. Like as the school year was starting and stuff and the kids are like, I want to dress up as this or I want to do this or that or whatever, and everyone talking about Halloween, I'm like, I don't care. I just don't care, and I can't drum up the enthusiasm for it at all. But you can see clips that I did before this of us going to like the horse equestrian club thing here in town and seeing all the horses and all the costumes and stuff like that, which was really fun, but we didn't dress up for it because I don't care. But I love horses and animals and stuff like that, so that was really fun. Yeah, I'm just not in the Halloween mood right now. I am in a reading mood though. So I just, like I said, just literally, like, it was like, this is the end of the book, blah, blah, blah. I went off, I marked it as read on Storygraph, and when we get home, I will pick up Allegedly. And I will update more when I have more thoughts on this. We just bought some pizza, which is like the smallest large pizza ever, and it's not going to be enough to feed our family. And it was 20 bucks. Like, look at this box. It smells delicious, but, like, that is not going to be big enough to feed a family of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8 pieces. Like, that's crazy. I'm like, I could almost eat this on my own. Not quite, but almost. Anyways, we're going to go home, play some games, watch a movie maybe, eat pizza, and hopefully I will get into reading Allegedly soon. And I will update more when I have something to talk about what it's about. So happy Monday morning. Today is the 23rd of August and I just dropped my kids off at school and I'm home and I'm trying not to be on the computer. I'm on the computer way too much, just watching YouTube and being distracted all day long. So until Halloween, my goal is to be off the computer as much as possible, except for things like reading sprints and stuff. So Kayla from Books and Lala has a members only reading sprint today at 1 o'clock. So it is now 9:10 a.m. So I have like 4 hours until then to just do whatever around the house, read, clean, and my first thing I'm going to do is grab all my pens and stuff. I'm going to do my Bible reading, and I have been reading It's Not Supposed to Be This Way by Lisa Kirkhurst. What's the matter, honey? So I might try to at least finish this one chapter today. But the black nonfiction book I want to finish is Hood Feminism, which I started back in March. So that's taking me a long time. It's a lot, and it's a hard read in the sense that it's a lot of information that I am learning. I don't want to nurse you. No. So, of course, he gets what he wants, and he's nursing now. But Hood Feminism is just a lot of topics that I don't know a lot about them, so it's a lot of learning things. And I keep putting it to the side to pick up novels, fiction novels and stuff, and book club reads and other things that I am prioritizing. So I am hoping to finish Hood Feminism. I unfortunately can't get audiobooks of any of these things, so that's kind of frustrating and slowing me down a little bit. I am just over 100 pages into Allegedly. Trigger warning for child abuse. Yeah, that one's a tough read for sure. I will talk more about it after I do my Bible study stuff. I just want to do a quick update. Yeah, I was just reading a little bit this morning, and there's some heavy stuff, and Allegedly as well. So, why are you beating me up? Anyways, I will check in later when I've done a little bit more reading and dive into the Bible for now. Your hands are freezing. So it feels like my house and my life is just chaos all the time, even when it's just me at home with the baby and it's relatively quiet. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. So this morning I had Momco, formerly known as Mops. So that was good. I got a little bit of reading done, but I dropped my kids off school at about 9 o'clock. And then the Momco is right directly across the street from the school. And that starts at 10. So I had an hour. So I was like, I'll go stop at McDonald's, grab my coffee, and then sit at the school or sit at the church parking lot where the Momco is. And I will sit and drink my coffee and read my book until Mops starts. Sorry, this lighting is terrible. My dog is eating my hand because she wants to eat this thing that my baby gave me. We have a lot of problems with training this dog. I always said I'm going to write a book called How Training Dogs is Like Raising Kids. Sorry, the lighting is terrible. Because it is like amazing amount of consistency and just feeling like you're not getting anywhere in the training because you feel like you're constantly correcting the dog. So that's frustrating. Just come be cute in the picture. Come on. Stop being crazy. She's been locked up all day because she has to be kenneled when I'm not home. And I had mops and stuff. Anyways, I got to the parking lot of the church with my coffee at like 9:13 or something like that. Just after 9. And then Peaches. I was like, I'll read until like 9:55 and go in for Mops. Momco, whatever. I just changed like this year. And then, she's so gentle, but she's just a crazy puppy still. She's just like 15 months old. Peach! No, don't eat his clothes. Anyways, my baby just mostly cried the whole time, and I ended up going in at 9:40 instead of 9:55 because he was just yelling and screaming. And as soon as I got back there to like let him out of the car seat, he was happy. Now I'm home. It is 12:40. And my daughter just texted me and she's like, Mom, quick, can I ask you for a favor? And you have to do it in 1 hour. And I'm like, what do you need? And she forgot her shoes for gym class. And if she wears her boots from school, her winter boots, she will get kicked out of gym class. Like automatic, no, you fail this class. Or like that day. Anyways, maybe not the whole gym, but Peach, just come be cute. That's what I got you for. Just to be cute. So I'm like, now I'm finally sitting down to be able to read a little bit, and now I gotta go run my daughter shoes. Her class ends at 1:25, and then it will be gym class. So I have like 20 minutes. I'm gonna read this and then run and bring her shoes, because she doesn't do this very often, forgetting things like that and asking me for things, but I'll have to tell her in the future if she forgets it. That's her problem. But anyways, I just want to talk a little bit about allegedly while I'm thinking about it. There is this girl, her name is Mary, and she has, like, the first line on the description in the back here is, Mary B. Addison killed a baby, allegedly. So she was 9 years old when her and her mom were babysitting this 3-month-old girl, and that baby dies. So trigger warnings, because you do get some details about how the baby dies, and it's not like, I mean, a baby dying is always sad and stuff, but it's not just like peacefully in their sleep. Like, it's a pretty brutal, I want to say accident, but I don't want to give away any spoilers either. But it's as far into the book as I am. Are you okay, baby? Did the puppy touch your foot? From what I've read so far, it was an accident, but like there was definitely misconduct there. Anyways, it is pretty brutal, like the way it's described and stuff like that. So definitely, it's never easy to read about child death, especially that of such a sweet, innocent little baby. And there is actually a line in here that I dog-eared, where Addison is the name of the baby. Alyssa is the name of the baby. Mary, her last name is Addison. You ever kiss a baby's cheek before? It's so soft you can snuggle it for days. And I was just like, yes, 100%. I just want to like rub my face in his cheeks all the time. They are like the softest. His cheeks and also butt cheeks. They're soft. Like they say, soft as a baby's bottom. It's no lie. So like it's heartbreaking. But also, like I was saying at the beginning of this vlog, I think that like this isn't like a horror, scary thriller book, but it is horrifying on like the human condition and the way especially kids treat other kids. There is, again, trigger warnings for child abuse, and I would even say like religious abuse, like a mom using religion, I don't know if I would say quite as a weapon, but she is like quoting scripture quite a bit and kind of neglecting the daughter and her needs kind of thing, where I don't know how to explain it, but it is a misuse of her Christianity and her faith, the mom's, which is, again, very sad to see because, again, I am a Christian. So it's sad when it is misused and abused and people use it as an excuse to do horrific things. And that is not the heart of God at all. That is corrupt, sinful human beings and institutions. That's why a lot of people I know are against organized religion. They're like, I'm spiritual, I believe in a higher God, I believe in, or a higher being, I believe in God, but not the church. And there's so much to be said about that. And I just want to say really quickly, like, Jesus did talk about the church. We are meant to gather as a group of people and hold each other accountable, encourage each other, grieve with one another, help each other. Like, there's so much benefit that comes with the body of the church and a body of people. And it's humans that corrupt it and misuse it and abuse it and mistreat it and stuff. That's not God, that's human beings. And you can't just write off the church 100% because God does call us to be a part of the church. But you also have to remember like that the humans are sinful and you have to put your trust and faith in God and trust that He will work things out and God will work things out in the end, right? My little scarf. Too bad I'm allergic to it. Anyways, the horrors of humanity in here. And when Mary allegedly killed this baby, she was only 9 years old. And now we're getting the story just before she turned 16. Like, she's already turned 16 and I'm about halfway through the book. So it's been 7 years since this baby has passed. And she has been in a home. She was in what she calls baby jail because she was too young for juvie or something like that. Or her crime was too harsh for juvie. I don't fully understand the justice system in this situation, but now she's in like a group home, kind of the step between leaving jail and going into society especially before she turns 18. She turns 18, she's an adult, right? So Mary is talking to her boyfriend and he is from another group home. Like, her home is all girls, his is all boys kind of thing, right? And they both volunteer at the same place because part of their condition, part of their parole type thing is volunteer community service. Volunteer, you have to do it. But he is turned 18 now, And he says, I gotta leave the house. And she's asking, like, why? I thought they said you could stay. That was only because they liked me, but social services came in and said they needed the bed. So now he's getting kicked out of this place because some other kid needs it, right? He's upset, obviously. But he says, you know the effed up part? PO told me, parole officer, I'm guessing, told me I still gotta check in every day because I'm still on house arrest. How am I gonna be on house arrest and ain't got no effing house to live at? Said they gonna talk to my moms. That B don't effing want me either. He pauses and throws a can across the room. It crashes into some pots on the metal counter. Some effing BS. They kick me out on the street with no effing job, but if I do some crap to put a little bread in my pocket, they gonna effing lock me up again. What the F they expect me to do? And then there's you. Yo, you realize if you were white, you wouldn't even be in this? They would have said you were one of the crazy white kids, like the ones who shoot up schools and crap, and sent your butt back home. But now I can't do nothing to save you. So I thought that was really interesting how he's talking about, like, I'm under house arrest, but I have no house to live in. I have to check in every night with my parole officer, but, like, how am I supposed to do that? I have literally nowhere to live. They're kicking me out on the street. I can't get a job. I'm a convicted criminal. I can't get a job to pay for rent, to have a house, and have food and take care of my basic needs. If I steal, you know, even, like, bread and milk to survive, I'm gonna go back in jail. And that's the sad thing about our justice system here and in the States. There are evil people out there doing horrible, terrible things that do deserve to be locked up. But I think the majority of the prison population, they've gotten into trouble due to circumstances, and they would have made better choices if those choices were available to them. Even if they've done horrible things, they are able to be rehabilitated and given the right opportunities and the right help and the right resources, they would be able to get a house and get a job and hold down a job and, you know, pay their bills and have food and have, like, a life, right? But the system doesn't allow for that, and it's so horrible and so terrible. And what do you do, right? Like, what can you do? It's a horrible reality we live in. The other thing in this book that I was talking about, the horrors of, like, humanity and stuff, she's in this group home with these girls that just, like, want to kill her and are, like, stealing her money and ripping apart her bedding and stuff, and they get like $30. Their allowance is $30 a week to buy the necessities, like she needs pads or new underwear or toothbrush, toothpaste, things like that. That comes out of her $30 a week. And Mary saved up so much money and they're like trying to steal it, and this one girl like literally tries to kill her. All these girls are broken and hurting, and whether they do have like a chemical imbalance that needs medication and some kind of therapy, or their circumstances, whatever has brought them to this point in their life that they have needed to be put into an institution, into a jail, into some kind of home like this, it's sad. Any way you look at it, it's horrible that they're put into this position and they have to act like they're gonna murder each other to survive because that's what they feel like they need to do, kind of thing. And yeah, so in some ways allegedly is a horror book. It's not a slasher or a thriller, but it is, some of the stuff in here is very horrifying and sad. I am more than halfway through now since I got to read a little bit before Mops, and now it is 12:52. So I got like 8 minutes to read, and then I'm gonna go bring my daughter her shoes, I guess. I should just go now, actually, and then read in the car, because when you have babies, you gotta spend all this time packing them around and getting them buckled in. Jesper! Oh, he was cuddled with me. I spent all this time buckling them in, taking them out, getting everything set up. So I'm gonna go do that and read in the car, and I will check in later. I just finished Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. It was very hard-hitting and so heartbreaking and sad. And yeah, I enjoyed it. And I am currently listening to With the Fire on High as my audiobook from Elizabeth Acevedo. And that's going really well. I'm really enjoying that one. And I gotta go in an hour and pick up my kids from school. So I'm gonna finish. I've been doing some baking today for snacks and goodies and stuff like that. So I'm gonna finish doing that baking and pick my next book to read. Today is Wednesday, October 25th. So I got 6 days left of this readathon, and I was hoping to read a lot more. So this one took me a few days longer than I was hoping it would, but that's pretty much how every single read I have goes. I would also like to read Razorblade Tears this year, and my library happen to have an audiobook for that, so I might do a blended read of that one later as well. I will check in when I know what I'm physically reading next and my thoughts on With the Fire on High. Jasper! Whee! Beep, beep, beep. Say hi. Oh!
Oh, see?
It's a free one. Sophie! Go Jasper! Go Jasper!
I can't even sit on this phone.
Jasper!
Yeah, wait, move on.
I'm stuck.
Okay, help himself. So happy Saturday, everybody. Oh, my hair is gross. There's 4 more days left of the readathon. So I have finished Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson, and I have finished With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. And I am currently reading Black Girls Must Be Magic by Janie Allen. And I'm not going to be able to get all the books read that I want to get read in the next 4 days for this readathon, but we're working at it. We're enjoying our reads, and that's what's important. And I got my Emily Cromwell Halloween bookmarks. Figured I would do a little unboxing. Just a cute little bookshop. I think I have that right there. Is it the same one? Oh no, it's different. This was from my last order, and this is from this order. They're so cute. And she like hand does like personalizes each one by writing their name in it. So sweet. Okay. Oh, and I did get a sticker. Maybe 2 stickers. So I love Emily Cromwell designs. Everything I have is like her stuff. I discovered her 2 years ago, and that's it. That's all I buy now. So I got this cute little sticker. His name is Boonard. How cute is that? And then I got Read More Books, and he's in a cauldron. And this one is Boonard having his best fall life as a marshmallow in hot chocolate. So, and in a cauldron. And this one's a book stack. So cute. And this one is a little haunted library. Well, very excited about that. All my Emily Cromwell things. I bought fall ones last time. So like the fox. I bought the haunted. This is Book Lover's Lane. And she does different design for like all the different seasons and stuff like that. These are just like the free bookmarks that she throws in with her socials and stuff on it, and how you can get to her store. She also has a YouTube channel now. So fall vibes, cute little picnic. Boonard living his best fall life. Yeah, I'm so excited. Oh, they're all so cute. I only have 4 days left, and I have 3 like Halloween bookmarks, and then fall ones, which I could still use. And then I'll bust out my Christmas ones. I will link her down below, and there's also, if you want a black owned bookmark bookish shop, the Seasonal Pages. I love her stuff as well. And she has wooden bookmarks, oh my gosh, that I absolutely love, that I buy from her, and she's awesome as well. So I'll link down the Seasonal Pages and Emily Cromwell. Yeah, and I'm excited to show you a water cup I bought today. to put in some nice lemon water to help me stay hydrated. So I have about 2 minutes of space on my phone, and that is not enough because my son has been taking one video after another. So it looks like I have to make some room on my phone to record videos. I have about 20 pages left of Black Girls Must Be Magic, and tomorrow is Halloween. So today is the 30th. It is 1 month until my birthday. I'm excited to get Halloween over with this year. Like, I'm just not in the mood for Halloween this year. And my husband's been working 12 on, 2 off a lot lately. So that has also been hard. It just doesn't leave a lot of time to get anything done. Like, it's just all on me to get the stuff done. And that's frustrating. Like, my husband's going today, right now, to buy pumpkins. And it's the 30th of October. And we had a long weekend, and I could have done the pumpkins then, but I'm having a really hard time mustering up the energy and the desire to want to do pumpkins or anything Halloween related. Oh, I gotta bake pie for my daughter's school tomorrow. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is make some space on my phone, do a quick unboxing, because I got a package, and I'm excited for it. And I will do a quick unboxing, and then go make cake, apparently, or pie, sugar pie. Okay, now I have 26 minutes of space left on my phone. So my son keeps taking videos and wants to like start his own YouTube channel, but he's only 8. So, like, no, not yet. Anyways, Chapters had a sale for kids' toys, games, like board games, puzzles, stuff like that. So I wanted to buy a couple of things for Christmas. So I think like this is a pretty big box and it's not that heavy. So I don't think it's just books. I didn't buy that many books. So we'll see what we got. Yes. Okay, so I bought these just for fun. So I'll probably break these out tomorrow. Peaches? No. She's gonna want to eat that paper. We'll break these out maybe tomorrow for Halloween. So tattoo pens. Black, blue, pink, and green. Peaches. Cute little fun pens. So, and then this is for my son because he likes, oh, I did buy a puzzle for myself. I forgot. My son does like the Duplo Mega Blocks stacking things, and he seems to like vehicles, cars, trucks. I thought a train would be really fun. He's gonna be 2 in January. Oh, it includes a poster. I think he'll really like this. Oh, and learn how to count. So perfect. And then this was for 4+, so a little bit older than my baby, a little bit young for my 8-year-old son, but we will see. It is a Marble Rush, so this is more for like the whole family to play with. I think it'll be really fun for us, and I'm constantly buying stuff like this and trying to get them off technology, and then it doesn't usually work out very well. The kids, everyone very addicted to technology. It's a problem with our world that we live in. But hopefully this will be a fun thing for us to do over the Christmas break because they get like 2 weeks off. And then my puzzle. Women owned, mother run, recycled, artist playlist included. Ooh, that'll be interesting. So anyways, it's a girl having a bath, reading a book with her cats, and a lot of music, it looks like, and books. It says, candles lit, a gentle breeze whispers in the broad green leaves. Your book is good, the tub is hot. Relax, lie back, get lost in thought. This time is yours to make you stronger. Linger here a little longer. Reading and relaxing, it's called. So I'm so excited for this. That's it. That's what came in the box. I have ordered some books. They just haven't come in yet. But I don't need any more books. I got enough books as it is. I listened to something. The Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. That was my audiobook. I couldn't find another audiobook that I wanted to listen to, but I do have Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby, I believe. And I really wanted to get to that this year. And I was hoping to have this finished yesterday, but did very little reading. And then listen to that over like today and tomorrow. But it's already like 7:30 p.m. and I still have 20 pages of this left. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to knock out an entire book in the next day and a bit, but we'll see. But the audiobook that I did listen to was With the Fire on High, and that is about a girl who is 17 years old, and she is a mom, and she became pregnant at 14, like so young. So her baby girl is about 3 years old throughout the book. It starts with her taking baby girl to like daycare for the first time, so she can go to school full time, finishing out her last year of school. And she does have like a part-time job. Her grandma raised her and helps her with her daughter now, the grandma's great granddaughter. And her dad lives in Puerto Rico. I think that's where it was. Anyways, I thought it was really good. I love a book about passion where the main character is just so passionate about something. And this character was passionate about cooking. And she had like a sixth sense for it. Like she could just tell what herbs were going to go good together and what flavors and textures and stuff were going to blend well together. And her mom died in childbirth or shortly after childbirth. And she talks to her aunts, like on her mom's side, and they email back and forth and stuff. And she's like, here's a family recipe. And then she's like, thanks. And then she'll email back and be like, this is what I added to it. And this is what I tweaked. And this is what I did. And she just has this ability to make this amazing food, and it's never the same thing twice because she's always experimenting and adding different things and stuff. And her name, Imoni? I'm trying to remember how she pronounces it. I listened to it as an audiobook, and Elizabeth Acevedo actually narrates her own audiobooks, so it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. Imoni, that doesn't sound right, the pronunciation. Emoni? Emoni? Okay, I'm looking up how to pronounce it, and this girl's saying Amani. That's the problem when you listen to it as an audiobook and then you go to read what it is, then you don't know how to pronounce it. Anyways, she is in high school and her school has opened up a cooking class, a culinary arts class, and the school is supposed to have that class. That was one of the reasons why she chose to go to that high school. And she has a bit of conflict with the culinary arts teacher because the teacher, a chef, is trying to teach them, like, when I give you a recipe, you have to follow it. And she's like, yeah, but these herbs would blend well with this recipe and this and that, and I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. And he's like, no, that is not how you run a kitchen, because that's part of the course is learning how to run a kitchen and kitchen management and stuff, as well as cooking. And it's very interesting because she almost leaves, like she wants to leave the class because of the conflicts that she's having with the teacher. But the teacher makes a really good point to her when he says that what if somebody was allergic to cumin and it's not in the ingredient list on the menu, but you added it because you thought the flavor would be good, and then they eat it and they have an allergic reaction. And as somebody with allergies to peanuts, that is like life-threatening allergy, or potentially could be a life-threatening anaphylactic allergy for me. That's a big deal. So there is the passion side of it and having this gift and being able to make these amazing dishes all on her own, and they like evoke emotions in people. When they eat it, they have like memories and these like major emotions, and it's like her food is like healing magic here. And there's something to be said about that, but there's also something to be said about this is what the recipe is, and you need to show me that you can follow that recipe and do what I'm asking of you first and foremost. So I thought it was really good. So happy Halloween, everybody. It is officially Tuesday, October 31st. And I am listening to Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. It is a 12-hour audiobook, and I read it physically up to chapter 2 last night before going to bed. And I just saw that this is blurred by Michael Connelly, who is one of my favorite authors. So that's cool. I got interrupted yesterday as I was talking about With the Fire on High, so I'll wrap all that up later after I listen to what I was talking about previously. But I just wanted to jump in and give a quick update. I am crocheting a snake for my daughter's birthday. I would love to get this to be 6 feet. Anyways, I am working on this while listening to Razorblade Tears, and because Gabby from Gabby Reads is the one who talked about how amazing this book was and how powerful it was for her, so I bought a physical copy, and then my library happened to have an audiobook for it. So I am following along as best I can. I got my cute little Halloween ghost bookmark book stack thing from Emily Cromwell Designs. And I am taking a few little notes and highlights about this. This is a story. It's pretty brutal, like some of the descriptions of what these dads are doing to these guys that they come in contact with is pretty gruesome and disgusting. Like violently disgusting, like smashing people's faces and blood and breaking bones and stuff like that. They were talking about breaking this guy's like pinky at one point, and it's just like, oh, I hate that kind of stuff. It's so gross. So this is the story of this gay couple, these two guys. One is black, one is white, and the story starts at their funeral. Well, it starts with the one dad having the cops come to his house, and he is an ex-con. He's black, so he's like, cops coming to my house is never a good thing. And realizes when they ask, is your son Isaiah, I think his name is, he's like, oh no, like this isn't about me personally, but also like this is not good news. And then the next chapter is their funeral. So these two guys, they were married. One was black, one was white, like I said, and they had an adopted daughter. She's just like 3 years old. How sad. And they were like brutally killed, and they believe it was like a hit put out on them, just like execution style, the way that they were killed. And it was so brutal, like they had to have a closed casket at the funeral. And the dads to these two guys didn't agree with their lifestyle and were not in like a good place with their sons. They didn't just like not agree with it, like they were kind of not talking at the time of the death kind of thing. Both guys, I believe, are ex-cons as well, both the dads. I don't think it's necessarily the interracial part, just the gay part of it that they didn't agree with. But obviously the interracial thing adds a whole other layer of challenge to the couple, but we don't. So the two dads are like teaming up because it's been 2 months since the funeral, and the one dad went to the police station and asked about one of the detectives or whatever and found out that the case was inactive and they weren't really going any farther with the investigation. Like it was kind of just like at a dead end. And so he's like, well, I want answers. So he goes to the other dad and is like, let's go find these answers for ourselves. And the other dad, Ike, is kind of like, no, I'm out of that lifestyle now. Like, I'm trying to stay straight. I'm trying to not go back to jail kind of thing. I don't want to be like busting heads and taking names kind of thing. And then he gets a call like a week or two after that conversation. And it's not the funeral director, but like whoever takes care of the graveyard and takes care of like the headstones and the maintenance and stuff like that. And he's like, I'm so sorry, there's a problem with the headstone, and the headstone had been like desecrated. Somebody basically took a sledgehammer to it, broke it in two, and wrote a bunch of really nasty things on it. So that gets Ike's attention, and he's like, okay, let's go find these guys, because they assume it's the same people who murdered them or hired somebody to murder them that is desecrating the gravesite. So we're on this hunt now of them trying to, like, working together, the two dads, to kind of right the wrongs, because they didn't agree with their son's lifestyle, but now they're realizing, like, at the end of the day, like, that wasn't that important. That they weren't good fathers to their sons, and they didn't support them very well, and just kind of regretting the choices that they had made in regards to their sons and the relationship that they had together as a gay married couple. This is their way of righting the wrongs, is by going on this like revenge mission. So I am enjoying it so far. It is pretty gruesome, the parts, like I said, like breaking bones and smashing faces, and it's very bloody and gruesome and gross that way. It's had a few pretty good conversations so far, and the more that they have to confront their own prejudices and biases and their own hatred for that lifestyle and stuff like that, I imagine there will be some good conversations there. I like these books that tackle these really hard topics and don't shy away from them. And you can learn something from this fictionalized story about some of the things people have to deal with and live with, like being a black man who's also an ex-con and has tattoos on his body, like on his hands and stuff, that are quite visible, that are obviously gang signs kind of thing, that obviously mark him in a way that isn't savory kind of idea. So there's those conversations, and the white dad, like I said, I think he's also an ex-con, but he's also an alcoholic. So there's those kind of conversations that I imagine will come up a little bit. I am excited to keep reading. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this in a day or not. It is 2 p.m. now. I pick up my kids at 3:40. It's 2:05. And it's Halloween, so they're going to want to go trick-or-treating and all that fun stuff. So I think, I don't know, it says I have 9 hours left on the audiobook, and I'm listening to it at 1.6 times speed. So it's still like 5 hours, but we'll see. We'll see what I get through. If I don't finish it quite today, that's okay. Bree, I hope you forgive me for not finishing my Blackoween reads on Blackoween. See what happens. I'm not going to stress out. I'm just going to listen to as much as I can, and maybe I'll be able to have a bath later and do some physical reading as well. And I will check in later as I deconstruct and reconstruct my little snake. Comment down below what you think Maya should name this little guy or girl.
Also subscribe to Mommy's channel on your birth phone, your mother's phone, your grandma's phone, every phone that you possibly think of.
There you go. Like and subscribe from every phone you can possibly think of. Thanks. Okay, so it is November 1st today. I did not complete this book by the end of Halloween, but that is okay. I have less than 6 hours or something now. I don't know. I'm on page 203. Now I just finished chapter 30. I'm hoping I'll get this done today. I have to do some dishes. Don't even look over here. It's disgusting. And I have the audiobook for this, so I'm hoping to listen to that while working on this while my baby's having a nap. But I just wanted to mention a conversation in here that was really interesting. So this book has a lot of violence and getting your butt kicked and some gruesome scenes with like wood chippers and just violence. But in the midst of all of that, there is some really interesting conversations in here about race and the LGBTQIA plus community and your biases and racism, things like that. So it is a really good read. And there's a conversation that Ike and Buddy Lee are having in the bar. And Ike is black and Buddy Lee is white. So I just wanted to share a little bit of this conversation that Billy Lee, as the white guy, is saying to Ike. They're at the bar and Ike orders them 2 shots of Henny. And Buddy Lee says, like, what's Henny? And he's like, you never heard of Hennessy? I mean, I've heard of it. I just don't know it had a nickname. I guess it's a ... It's what, a black thing? I guessed. Buddy sucked at his teeth. You know, I bet you thinking he keeps saying he ain't racist, but he's sure saying some racist crap, Buddy Lee said. So this is what kicks off this conversation. Buddy Lee says, I ain't trying, make no excuses. But when you grow up around people, your aunts and uncles, your grandparents, your brothers and sisters, your friends, all of them saying things that you don't even think about being wrong or right, you don't put that title on yourself. Like, you remember when they used to play the 10 Commandments on television every Easter? And there's this part where this boy tells his granddaddy to look at the Nubians. My granddaddy on my mama's side would always make this joke about them not being Nubians. They just, well, you know what he said. And I used to laugh at that joke because it was my granddaddy saying it. I never had to think how somebody like you would feel about that joke. Then when I got older, I stopped thinking about it because if that joke was effed up, then what did that say about my granddaddy? What did that say about me that I laughed at it? That you ignorant as hell, Ike said. Yeah, well, I guess that's a pretty good assessment, Buddy Lee said. It's easier to keep your head in the sand than it is to try and see things from somebody else's point of view. There's a reason why they say ignorance is bliss, Ike said. So, do you think I'm a racist? Buddy Lee said. I think maybe for the first time in your life, you're seeing what the world looks like for people that don't look like you. I mean, you still ignorant as hell, but you learning. but then so am I. We both learning. So I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't want to read like the whole book to you or anything, but I thought this was a really good, interesting conversation. I dropped my beautiful bookmark. I like that, I don't know how old they are, 50s, 60s, and they are confronting these thoughts and these ideas that they have lived with their entire lives. And like he said, I laughed at it because my granddad was telling the joke. You never sit and think like, is this joke actually funny? When you hear your aunts and your uncles and your parents and older cousins maybe and people in your family making these jokes and talking, you don't think like these jokes are harmful to other people. And whether you understand them as funny or not, you might just laugh because everyone else is laughing and you want to be in on the joke, right? But you never think like this is harmful. And that's an interesting thing to think about because a lot of people, there are some very racist people out there, of course, but I have heard those racist jokes and comments and stuff, and I just like, I need to be better at actually confronting it, but sometimes I just shake my head and I'm like, wow, you actually believe this? You actually think these things? And it is hard to confront, especially when it is like your mom or your dad, you know, your grandfather or whatever, especially when it is an older generation and you're like, well, it is wrong, but they're from a different generation, and what can you say to them? They're stuck in their ways kind of thing, right? And I'm not saying you shouldn't confront it, and when I hear it, I should say something and I should speak up, and I need to be better about that. But it's a hard thing to navigate, right? And sometimes you just don't want to fight and get into an argument or try to explain something. You just want to like shake your head and be like, you're ignorant. Anyways, I'm going like way off on this tangent that I wasn't expecting to. But what I wanted to talk about, going along with talking about, like, you laugh at it because your granddaddy was laughing at it, and then when you stop and think about it and you learn like, okay, that was racist or that was not a kind thing to say, what does that mean? What does that say about you for laughing at it? And what does that say about your granddad for saying the joke in the first place? And I think Ike responds to that saying like, you're ignorant as hell. And he's like, yeah, that's probably a pretty fair assessment of me. And I don't know what I'm doing with these dishes. And I was just thinking about that, like, when you say something that's ignorant or racist, it's wrong. Just straight up, it is wrong. But I think there is a difference between your ignorance and not understanding why something you say could be harmful. And what am I trying to say? There's a difference between saying something and you don't understand why it's harmful. Like, you grew up hearing that talk and you were too young and immature to understand that that was a harmful thing to say or a harmful belief to hold, versus trying to harm somebody with your words and being racist and yelling in someone's face and believing these things and in an aggressive, mean, spirited kind of way. So I hope that as somebody who's learning in my late 30s now, that if I say something that's ignorant, someone can kindly point it out to me and say, Becky, this is why this is harmful to this group of people. Becky, this is why what you said comes off like this. I know what you meant, or I hope you actually meant this, and this is a more appropriate way to say what you're trying to say. And somebody can lovingly confront what my bias is, what my ignorance is. The thing about ignorance, like, people say it like a bad thing, like, oh, you're so ignorant. Well, we're all ignorant about something, and it just simply means, like, I don't understand something, and I'm gonna be ignorant about a lot of things in the world. That doesn't make me stupid. That doesn't make me dumb. It doesn't make me mean-spirited. The problem is when I don't want to learn, or I want to stay in that ignorance, like ignorance is bliss. And sometimes I do want to be ignorant about things because it is too much and I don't want to confront it. But when I'm stuck in a mindset and I'm just like, well, I'm right because I believe that for the past 36 years of my life, so who are you to say anything? That's wrong. And I just hope that people, for me personally, people will know that I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be harmful with the words that I'm using or the way I may express an opinion. Your intent behind what you're saying, like I said, if I'm trying to say something and I accidentally say it in a way that is harmful to you, to a group of people, it's different than if I am trying to harm you. And the intent doesn't matter. It's still harmful and it still hurts an individual person or a group of people. Regardless of what my intent is, it's still harmful. But the intent does matter in how you would confront that person and say what you said is harmful to me or to this group or whatever. If I'm sitting there and I am being aggressive and mean-spirited and a racist POS, you might choose to ignore me and walk away from it because I am a danger to you. Or you might choose to confront it, but you would be more aggressive in your confrontation because I am being mean. Versus, like, I just say something out of ignorance and you say, Becky, this is not right. Either don't say that at all, or here's a better way to express what I believe you were trying to say, which I think is this. That's just what I wanted to mention when they're like, you're ignorant, but we're learning. And I hope that I'm ignorant, but learning. And if I do say anything wrong, please let me know. I have been listening to Ashley from the Bookish Realm, and she talks about the AAVE a lot, which is the like African American vernacular English, I think, and I don't know much about that, and sometimes words just come up in pop culture and you'll say like a phrase or a word and you don't realize that that is taken from a different culture. And the problem with it is that with AAVE specifically, when Black people talk like this and use this word or this phrase or whatever, people are like, oh, you're ignorant, you're stupid, you don't know, you're undereducated because you speak like this. But then it becomes popularized in pop culture with white people, and people are like, oh, that's so cool. That's a new hip, cool thing to say. And it becomes popular, but when it was just Black people saying it, they were ignorant and stupid and uneducated. So if I say a word, a slang word that is popularized in the culture right now, I don't stay up on the trends very much, and sometimes I do hear some of what the kids are saying these days, and I'm like, so stupid. Because I don't understand it, I don't like it, it's not my slang. It's not the words that were used when I was a kid, so I'm old and I'm like, no, I'm not using that new language. But if I do pick up on a word that I connect with it and I'm like, yeah, I'm using that. Like, a good example is, I can't even. I say that all the time. Not as much anymore, but especially when it was a little bit more popular. But like all the time, I was like, oh, I can't even right now. Like, that's so cute or whatever. If I am picking up something that's AAVE, I'm not doing it intentionally to harm somebody or to appropriate a culture that is not my own. I'm just doing it because I heard it, and it's popular, and I don't know where it originated from, but for whatever reason, I just like that saying, that phrase, that word, and I've incorporated it into my own language. So if I do that, and it happens to be AAVE, I'm sorry. I'm not meaning it to be that way, and I hope that you can educate me and show me that maybe I can use a different phrase, or just acknowledge that I am using language that is not my own. Yeah, that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about there with the intention behind what we say, the fact that it's wrong, no matter what. Intention does matter in how you go about changing what you're saying or doing or confronting somebody who's using this kind of language or whatever. My cat's walking by. He might knock you over. Oh, he just squished right by you. But like, intention does matter, but it's always harmful and it is always wrong. And we are all learning, and I hope that I'm learning as well. And now I'm going to get back into reading Razor Blade Tears while I work on these dishes, and I will update later. So I'm here to do a very quick wrap up for my Blackoween. The books I read were Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. I talked about Allegedly and the part that I found interesting about the problems within the justice system and helping to rehabilitate and get people back into regular life and society once they have aged out of the system, or even if they have done time in jail and are being released back just to their regular lives. Allegedly is about a girl named Mary who was with her mother, and they were babysitting an infant girl, and she tragically died that night that they were babysitting, and the mystery that you are trying to figure out is whether or not Mary killed that baby, and if she did, was it an accident or was it on purpose, and why she was blamed and not her mother, who was also there taking care of her. Mary was only 9 years old when this happened, and it is very sad hearing her story and all that she goes through living in a home care situation, and the abuse that she deals with the other girls in the home with her, as well as from her mother who comes to visit her. I really enjoyed the story, and I love Tiffany D. Jackson's way of storytelling, how she interweaves things from the past into the current timeline to give you the backstory of how it all happened. I also listened to With the Fire and High by Elizabeth Acevedo, and I talked about how much I enjoyed the main character's Imoni, her love for cooking, and her sixth sense and ability to just put ingredients together and have them taste amazing and evoke memories and emotions in that. I also really liked the fact that she got pregnant at 14, and as the story begins, she is 16, 17 years old, and she just acknowledges that it is hard to be a mom. It is hard to be a teenage mom, not together with the father, but having shared custody with the father, and having to go to school full time and work and help take care of the home and the responsibilities that she has as a mother. And her mom has passed away and her dad is living in Puerto Rico. I liked that having a daughter at such a young age was never seen as a negative thing. Her daughter is very much loved and wanted and cared for, and it's just a reality that there are challenges of being a mom. I became a mom at the age of 24, and I was married and got pregnant 11 months into our marriage. I have a husband who supports me, who works. I am able to stay home. It is a huge privilege. And I have bad days. I have hard days. I have challenges with my children. And no matter what your life looks like, whether you choose to become a parent or not, or the choice has been made for you and unfortunately you have not been able to have a child, there are challenges in life. Whatever age you are, whatever your circumstances are, whatever you're going through right now, there are going to be challenges. And her having a daughter at such a young age and navigating all of these things in her life was just a part of her life, but it wasn't this big negative teenage mother struggle. Her daughter was a huge blessing and brought a lot of joy to her life. I really love that part of the story, as well as her passion for cooking. I also read Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby, which is about this gay interracial married couple who were murdered and the two homophobic fathers that go on a revenge mission to solve the murder case of their sons and to right the wrongs of their own prejudice and biases against their sons being gay, and the conversations that come up along the way about race, homophobia, and LGBTQIA plus community and their biases against that, and navigating that in their life in their later years, like 50s and 60s. Later years sounds like they're like close to death, but not quite that later, but later on when it is harder to change and confront those biases that you've held for such a long time. And I really enjoyed that, and it's one of my favorite books of the year for sure. I also read Black Girls Must Be Magic by Janie Allen, and that I read as the buzzword of magic for October, and it is the sequel to Black Girls Must Die Exhausted. I don't want to talk about it too much because it is the sequel and would give away things from the first book, but I really enjoyed that as well. Just the struggles and the ups and downs of being a woman in your 30s and wanting to have a family and having a diagnosis from the first book talking about how hard it could be for her to have children and how she has to make a decision very quickly about whether or not she wants to freeze her eggs or get pregnant or what the decision is, and navigating relationships and having a guy in her life that is unsure about whether or not he wants to be with her. Her name is Tabitha. If he wants to be with her in that way of being married and having a family for life. I really enjoyed that story as well, and there is a third book out in that I will hopefully get to next year. So I really enjoyed participating in Blackoween again this year and had a really great time with the reads that I was able to get to. Comment down below if you participate in Blackoween and what your favorite books you read in October were. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!